What a beautiful charge!
Whoa,
This is
what a
fine.
save!
Oh my god, this
Oh,
what a save, my guy!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament. We are here for you with the second division final of the night. Coming to you from the near division, we have got a doozy. This is the Battle of the Pacific. It is the number 9 seed, Trojandude12 from California in the United States versus the number 8 seed, CheeseLover, hailing from New Zealand. This is going to be a heck of a match. I'm really excited for it. My name is Voligen. I am here for the call tonight with Lurking Assassin. Lurking, how are you doing?
I am pretty good. Excited for this Battle of the Pacific. I think that name you gave it is pretty representative of how exciting this will be. So,
yeah, and we've got, we got two really evenly matched competitors here. Of course, you see on the bracket layout there, this is the division finals. Trojandude going against CheeseLover. Trojan coming from the upper bracket here, so he has not lost a game in this tournament so far. CheeseLover coming from the lower bracket, having lost one game, but we had a double elimination format here, so he was able to win his way back in, but still needs to take 2 games off of Trojan if he wants to move on, whereas Trojan only needs to win 1. Lurking, if you're going into a match like that, how do you approach it if you're that lower player?
probably I'd be like, if I was the lower player, I would not expect to win because just winning 2 games in a row was always that, like, it adds a lot of pressure. Like, you win 1 game, you're like, okay, I'm not done yet. So, and after winning 1 game, you're like, it's hard to replicate that. So, I would think going from the lower division gives you not only like a disadvantage in the bracket type, but also a disadvantage like in your thinking way, or I guess your thought process, I should say. It just makes it more difficult knowing that you need to win twice, but you don't have any room of losses.
Yeah, that's for sure. We will be getting started really shortly, as obviously we're a little bit behind schedule, but you can catch a glimpse of the stats on the screen right now. These runners very evenly matched. Trojan's PB a little bit worse than Cheese's, and Cheese's even came during one of his tournament races, but Trojan has that ridiculous level of consistency we've talked about so many times before. He is probably going to rattle off a time that is very close to his PB without much trouble, Lurking. So,
Yeah.
it's up to Cheese to be able to beat that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would say it's all like pretty much up to Cheese and how he plays. Trojandude is, as you said, consistent. One of the most consistent players in the game. So Cheese can't really depend on Trojan making mistakes. He needs to play out of his game to win this.
Yep, that's for sure. So we have the runners off and heading down to the Spirit Flame area. They'll pick up Sign, their handy companion, who fortunately, since we're able to hide the user interface by pressing Alt-U, will never actually talk to us in this run, so you'll never have to, see those words. But you see Trojan with the lovely color code there. Nice little pink color. She is going with the standard Ori white.
What kind of sucks is like sometimes you have to like. I mean, I'm not gonna say you have to talk to Sign, but like that one time that he talks accidentally, it hurts. No one wants to hear Sign's voice.
I agree with that. We have the Frankie fight going on here with very good shooting on both parts. Cheese with a slight advantage because he takes advantage of the mouse wheel scroll shooting method, whereas Trojan does not. He opts to just pace his shots, and this is one place you'll notice a slight difference with that. Another one is going to be that Ginso Tree mini boss about 13 minutes from now. But for now, we are still just making our way through this early section, which presents a few trolls for our runners working.
Yeah, especially that bounce pad, like in the brambles on top of it. It's either gonna be like the invisible bramble, a health drop. It's just gonna mess with you in one way or the other.
And both runners are setting up their health. Trojan might not have intended to take that damage he just took there. He does get a health drop from the slime as well, and Cheese does too. So their health management may be thrown off a little bit, but Trojan opts to... Oh, wow, okay, Cheese...
That was monkey-ass.
Yeah, that was pretty terrifying, man. He very nearly took a scary death there, but fortunately was able to make it through.
And he did come to the water with 1 health, so he did have a slightly faster death than Trojandude did.
Yeah, so she's just opening up a very small amount of a lead here, and we've actually talked about this, just a little bit beforehand. CheeseLover's early game It is really, really good lurking.
And we all know about Trojandude's early game, and we've all heard the memes about it, but I'll just say he is a really good runner, and his early game is not as bad as people make fun of him as.
Yeah, it's just kind of a meme because Trojan is so strong at the late game that he's able to kind of say, I don't even need, like, you know, a lot of runners, CheeseLover included, are going to go for very, very, very fast times in the early game. You might be looking at a possibly sub 12 enter Ginso on his part, which would be an incredible time and incredible pace. Trojan, not super likely to get that, but his late game more than makes up for it, and that's how he's able to have such a good time that he does lurking.
Yeah, but Trojandude did actually say, like he told us in his notes, that he's been having some sick paces through the early and mid game, so that added up with his late game, it could be very terrifying.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out for him. Right now, it is a pretty small deficit for him, only a couple seconds, and certainly nothing that he can't surmount here. But CheeseLover is going to just hope to, you know, establish that early lead and just continue it for the entire run if he really can. He does manage to get his level up on the way out. Trojan will do the same. Neither of them getting a whole lot of XP here, but they won't be going for the slime genocide route, so it won't matter too much.
It was interesting because they were both kind of low on XP, like they both didn't do flower skip and still didn't level up on the way down. It's kind of interesting. They were both low, which is very unusual, but it doesn't really make much of a difference.
Yeah, and just a quick reminder, if you are tuning in for this as the first of the Ori division finals that you've watched here, we have this best of 3 indicator just below the 2 gameplay feeds, and it indicates 1 win for Trojan already. Now, Trojan and Cheese have not played in the bracket yet, so Trojan has not beaten Cheese himself, but because Trojan is coming from the upper division, the upper bracket here in this division, and Cheese is coming from the lower bracket, having lost 1 race in the tournament, he has to win twice, whereas Trojan only has to win once.
Yeah. It's just that, like, slight kind of balancing it out to give the person in the winning bracket a slight advantage because they earned that advantage, I should say, because they never lost.
All right, looks like we got a 3 to 4 second delta entering Blackroot Burrows, so not a very significant lead for Cheese, but it is, you know, a nice one to have just at the early game. Okay, there's few seconds ahead of your opponent and just kind of set the pace as they're going. But both runners will be doing the same strats here, and I'll bet we'll see some safety saves from both of them as well. It may come, you know, down to this little 100 XP jump here that Cheese is trying for and pulls off cleanly.
Yeah, he got it very nicely. Trojan had a kind of a slow jump from that platform because it was a little bit in the wrong place, so he did wait a couple seconds, and on top of that he had a slow orb drop, so he is getting slightly trolled right now.
Yeah, that spider shot nearly wrecked his face and ruined his day there, but he was able to just jump over it calmly. He knew it was coming. You know, he's got the experience to anticipate that, so he does fall a little bit further behind Cheese, but not too crazy far. It's definitely not that huge of a deal right now.
And it looks like they both caught the same cycle, I believe, so... Or was Cheese one earlier? I'm not very sure, actually.
I think they just, because of the deficit upon entering, yeah, they did basically catch the same cycle because neither of them reloaded. So Trojan, meanwhile, I think he was circling with his mouse to indicate because of his XP count, he needed to skip killing that slime. That was just shooting at him right there. But again, this is Trojan's experience. He's not, you know, there's no lack of confidence about dodging the shots from this slime. He's good.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky slime dodge if you don't want to kill him because you kind of need to get in a certain position to get him attacking in a certain pattern. And then sometimes on the way down, when you're trying to catch the next cycle, he just attacks you and slows you down. It's a very weird slime dodge.
Fortunately, no problem for Trojan. No problem for Cheese either getting into this room, pulling this lever. Trojan will be right behind him, and they're about 6 seconds separated at this point. So another little bit of 2-second advantage opened up for Cheese, and his dash time looks like it's going to be very, very good. This is going to be around a 7:13. So really, really good early game for both runners so far.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I think this is kind of expected that Cheese is a little bit ahead, but that doesn't say anything towards late game. But it's just interesting to see how much Trojan can catch up or how much Cheese can expand the deficit getting out of this early game, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, Cheese really knows that he has to basically beat Trojan's PB, or at least come close to it in both races, really, in order to take this victory. Whereas Trojan really just has to have one good race with Cheese having a slight amount of spaghetti, and that'll be it.
Yeah, and now they're getting towards Frankie walks. This is where spaghetti could start happening, so we need to keep a watch to that.
And we, as always, never wish ill upon either runner, except, of course, Terra. But we will be continuing along this Frankie walk across the countryside as Cheese is getting a good pattern of jumps here, but won't quite get the optimal. He'll get one extra hop, but he is fine, picking up his level up. Trojandude, not the higher seed, but he is on the left, so we'll see if he gets that left side energy bonus there. No, Cheese gets it, because he's the higher seed.
I don't know. I think there's something about that. It's a bit Trojan. That was. He was a few pixels away from getting hit by a chair, but he did slide right under it.
Yeah, he managed to dodge the invisible chair hitbox from the Frankie, also known as that Frankie's big old butt. He manages to make it safely through. Cheese does as well. Coming into his early grotto cycle, Cheese making these movements look really easy and getting in there. Trojan is going to follow suit right now.
And
and he
does
did not
get it. That will expand Cheese's lead by about 8 seconds. So.
Well, one of the good things lurking is that Trojan doesn't ever watch his opponents. He always just focuses on his own race. So that won't necessarily, the fact that he's behind Cheese right now, that won't necessarily alter how he plays, because he just has no idea. He probably assumes he's behind, but it won't make him, panic or anything.
But in some scenarios, people do play better when they know they're behind. So this could be, a disadvantage that Trojan doesn't have that. But maybe, I guess he does know that this would make him play worse, and this is why he doesn't watch the streams.
Yeah, it's always hard to say, and of course every person's different. I think in Trojan's case, he thinks that the distraction of having, that knowledge about whether he's ahead or behind won't help him really achieve his goal, which is just to always be very consistent. Speaking of consistent, Cheese not super consistent on this grotto skip coming up. He's only 50-50 for this trick in the tournament, and there you go.
He keeps that that ratio alive.
Trojan, of course, Mr. Consistency, will be coming in with the 100% success rate on this trick. Has a little bit of a flub on that wall. We don't necessarily count that against him. The actual attempt is first try. So very nicely done.
That will catch him a couple more seconds towards Cheese.
And as we're going here, one small thing that you'll notice there, where Cheese is able to save fractions of a second over Trojan, is that Trojan's menuing will be slightly slower. It's tough to go into the nitty-gritty details of how menuing strategies work, but you'll just see Trojan be slightly, it just takes a little bit longer to pull off those inputs, whereas Cheese is rapid flying through those menus and is able to save fractions of a second every single time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of menus, so they do add up to a good amount of seconds over the run. So it's just interesting to see that, when you see these very high-level runners, their menus are insanely faster than an average runner like me. People optimize even these menuings that look kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, all it is just press escape a couple times, down, 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 enter, enter, right? It's not that bad.
That's simple, but no.
Yeah, there's advanced techniques just to do those inputs fast, different ways of providing them. Meanwhile, both runners making it through the iceless section there that Trojan just passed through pretty cleanly. Don't ask why it's called that. It's pretty irrelevant. But in the meantime, Cheese is picking up the swamp teleporter, which we'll need for later. Trojan will be following suit momentarily. And Cheese will be entering Ginso with what looks like not quite a sub-12 lurking, but dang close.
Yeah, it's going to be like a sub-12-10, so it's still in a very good time.
In fact, Trojan will even be coming behind as well, with what looks like it'll probably be a 12-20 or so. It sounds like the truck is letting us know there was a 17-second delta at Water Vein, and it looks like it'll probably be pretty similar to that right now as well.
Yeah, I feel like none of them really had any major mistakes in that segment, but then again, this is one of those segments that people could gain or lose time without really noticing it, so.
Yeah, And the Ginso tree as well was very difficult to execute cleanly. She's having a very good time in those first 2 rooms, just moving cleanly through those gamer cycles and being okay there. Trojan will do the same movement as Cheese is getting towards the puzzle room. And you see pretty much just both runners taking the same approach, just get past these gamers without, you know, jumping into their faces or anything like that.
And they both pulled it off successfully. This is a very difficult movement, which is very punishing if you fail it, because you're gonna fall all the way down and probably die as well.
Well, Lurking, you know, we've been talking about how good Cheese's early game is, but here's a great example. Just telling you from the truck, we found out that Trojan is 10 seconds ahead of his PB upon entering the Ginso tree, and Cheese was still ahead of him. So that's exactly what Cheese was talking about, needing to be ahead of Trojan's PB to pull off, you know, an upset victory here. Well, quote unquote
He
upset.
is pulling it off so far, but you know, we still didn't get anywhere near those scary sections of the game, I would say. Those tricks that would lose you the entire good phase.
You do see Trojan. Oh, Trojan is doing the shot pacing on this mini boss and accidentally pulled off a dash input there. I'm not sure if that's based on what his keybinds are or whatever, but fortunately only took a little damage and he did not die. So that is for him. But he did lose some time here.
That was really sad. He was one shot away from killing the boss, and he had to wait for another cycle, and it was a slow boss spawn.
There's the bash tree pickup for CheeseLover at 14-11. Again, very solid pace. Trojan's following in, but again, you know, that's exactly what Cheese really needed. He needed to have that strong early game. Now, as we're getting bash, we're going to see how that mid to late game continues for Cheese and whether he's able to continue pulling ahead of Trojan or whether Trojan will catch up with that strong end game he has.
Yeah, like even as we mentioned, there was 17 seconds of water vein that expanded towards the Ginso tree, and now yet again towards bash. So Cheese is expanding his lead very slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's really impressive to watch these runs between, you know, top runners, but particularly ones who are so close but have such different approaches. As Trojan, you know, just doing different strats in some of these sections of the Ginso tree, he'll put his save on this lower platform to set up his keystone duplication. Cheese did on the higher one, but you know, ultimately all that matters is either of them going to mess up, and if they do, is the opponent going to take advantage?
Yeah, and it is getting to the point where these mess-ups are going to get scarier. Or at least, I would say, more commonly happening, so... Especially with the coming up trick, Swamp Entry, we've seen a lot of people struggle with it recently, so let's see how that goes for Cheese in just a few seconds.
Yeah, and Trojan has, for his part, been telling us that he's been having some rough times with Swamp Entry, so he's a little bit concerned. He actually flubs that hyperspeed going into the mini-boss room as well, so that cost him a couple seconds of movement. But, you know, focus their eyes over towards Cheese momentarily, because he will be coming upon that Swamp Entry the Lurking mentioned, and we'll see if he is able to confidently pull this off first try.
I don't expect Cheese to have any troubles with it, but as I say that, I notice that I am a commentator, and I should not have said these words, so I take everything back.
Yeah, you're pretty much not allowed to observe anything good about either runner. Ooh, Cheese having a little bit of a weird moment there. I think he just wasn't quite where he thought he was. 64% success rate on this trick for Cheese in the tournament. He falls into water.
Into the water. Okay.
He still has a chance to set it up, though. Good shots here.
Feels double dash, but... As you notice on the left side, Trojan did go for that different XP orb, which no one else, I think, goes for it. So you're gonna notice some weird laser movement from him in the way out.
Oh, no. This is exactly what Trojan was worried about Lurking. He has had problems with his exact thing recently. He takes damage on the frog this time. He's having a little bit of a rough time, and there it is again, Lurking.
This is painful. This trick is just... Not only is it difficult, but it's just annoying to mess up because you either have to die, which takes too long in the water, or you have to reload, which is just slow. So re-attempting it is very time costly.
Yeah, and he's in the second time, but he...
and he got it.
Well, much more than second, I guess. But yeah, he picks up the ability stone, is heading in, but Cheese managed to make a really clean entrance for himself and thereby pass Trojan by a significant margin now. It'll be a lot harder for Trojan to make this up. He needs a lot more mistakes from Cheese.
You see, Richard says this is a high five, but I don't think so. I think Trojan Dude reloaded the game intentionally to dodge Cheese. He's like, no, I'm not having a high five right now.
Cheese with the up top and Trojan with the nope, you missed. Speaking of missing things, we're coming up to our Kuro cutscene skip, and let's see if Cheese does
Cheese
miss
says
this.
that he's never gonna miss it, and he doesn't.
There you go. Yeah, of course, the success rate popping up afterwards. Not quite 100% in the tournament, but he'll be sure to tell us all that that is lies, and he has never missed it and never will miss it. It's an easy trick.
Yeah, it's definitely easy. Like, all you have to do is bash, and you're fine, right?
Ooh, missing the spider sack cutscenes.
It was more
Oh!
difficult and get
Trojan.
Okay. He almost killed that frog, which is very time like costly. And watch this for Trojan.
That weirds me out every time, dude. But it's fine, the laser's gone and he's clear and free there. So Trojan's attempt at the Kuro cutscene skip coming up momentarily, but CheeseLover already at the charge flame tree. Let's see, Trojan gets in position, pulls off the bash very nicely. So his Kuro cutscene skip is also quite free. And of course, we would expect no less from Trojan.
Yeah. What are not free, I would say, are these insta-kill spikes. They're very not free. But Trojan does get through them.
Thank goodness. You never want to see someone take a death to one of those. But Cheese now heading into the left side of the map, as we call it, because it's on the left. We're really, really creative in the Ori community. But he will be breaking this, or stomping this stomp peg and breaking in to this area and heading deeper into the Valley of the Wind, where all the hard stuff is lurking.
Hard stuff. Valley of the Wind isn't even difficult. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is where the run really gets to, I would say, the quote-unquote late game, where all these late game tricks start coming in. Like, we're gonna have fast stompless in a second, followed up by Sorrow Bash, followed up by Sorrow. Like, the game is gonna start throwing one obstacle after the other on Cheese and Trojan in a few seconds.
While Cheese is gonna hope for continued success here, he managed to carry nearly a minute of advantage from the charge flame trees, so he's got quite a lot of room to work with. His shot looks pretty good. As always, it's really hard to tell, but the runners, of course, usually have a good idea.
This looks perfect to me. I can't. Yeah, that was just like the one shot that you aim for. Like, I don't see how this could possibly be wrong, and it wasn't. So Cheese keeps his 100%.
And as he waits for the feather cutscene, Trojan is just now getting into the valley. So, you know, again, Trojan has a very, very strong late game, but with those swamp entry problems, he really now does have to rely on Cheese to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And not make mistakes.
God, the bird. The
Yeah,
real
he fell
lost
down.
the game, but he doesn't get Trojan today.
Well, here we go with Trojan's fast stompless. He's also 100% on this trick. She's going for Sorrow Bash using this double bash method, and he gets good bird position, so he'll be making his way in and continuing up as
He's
Trojan.
in there, and Trojan also got past stompless.
Very nicely done. You know, Trojan's doing everything he can lurking. He's doing what he needs to do. He's pulling off the tricks he needs to pull off, but right now, he needs Cheese to mess up.
Yeah, and Cheese just got past two of the biggest obstacles, so like the room for error, I don't want to say it is gone, but it's decreasing slowly but surely.
These sections of the run have some of the most dangerous moments of the run, even in Misty once Cheese gets there. Right now, all the spikes in Sorrow deal effectively 100% damage to him, since he only has 4 health. Even once he gets to Misty, the spike's dealing 3 damage. There's still very little margin for error, so Cheese has to play really well to be able to make sure to hold on to this lead, and that's not going to help. That little death right there. Trojan is fast approaching. It's still not the entire deficit. Cheese still is holding on to that lead, but it's going to decrease if he keeps having mistakes like that.
Yeah, and do remember, Cheese is watching the restream, so he knows how ahead he is, so I'm assuming to see some safety saves, and okay. I saw a death and I thought he died, but it was just a tear break.
Terror break is always a really scary thing for commentators because it's hard to tell what's going on behind that save anywhere.
I just heard the Ori dying sound. I was like, oh no.
So we had a note from the truck that that is a really good point about Cheese. Normally in the tournament so far, he's gone for 5 health coming into Sorrow Pass. He's not particularly used to going for health here. Usually he takes the one in the Spider Coves area back earlier where, you know, right after the Kuro cutscene skip. But in this case, he opted to skip it. And so hopefully that won't cause too many problems for him. Fortunately, as he leaves Sorrow, he will escape the section where the spikes are insta-kill by virtue of that decision.
Yeah, like in Misty, 4 and 5 health isn't that much of a difference. It's still a big difference if you eat like a hit from, you know, a slime or something. But spikes wise, it's 2 hit anyways, so he shouldn't have as many problems in Misty because of that less health than he usually does.
We're going to see as he does begin his trip through Misty. We'll see whether he opts to go for any safety. He has, I believe, dropped a safety save a little bit earlier, but I haven't seen one in Misty since he left the Sunstone area. There you see he's got 1 energy left as he pops up his UI, and he's not dropping a save here. So Cheese is really on a mission, and he seems to want to just keep going without really going for any safety here.
Yeah, and he is more than halfway through the first half of Misty, so he almost gonna get that safety save from the climb tree. He just needs to get through that little spike cave question mark as we call it.
Well, that is a very clean navigation of that spike cave question mark as he called it. And so he will be getting to the climb tree. Trojan is now entering Misty. That would put him just around a minute behind still. However, we're seeing, you know, Trojan just having a little bit of problems here as he had a flub on his meteor kick entering Misty, which cost him a little bit of time. He does drop a safety save here, so Trojan still, you know, this is his normal gameplay, and he is not changing his game plan since he does not know how his opponent is doing.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, it's Cheese, so I would assume Trojan knows Cheese would be on a really good pace, and there is no reason to expect him to be like way behind. So I think after the problems that Trojan had in Swamp Entry, if I was in his shoes, I would kind of assume I'm behind after that.
Yeah, that's a definitely good point, and there's really not much Trojan can do other than just play his best game, and that's what he always focuses on doing. Pretty much regardless of a situation, you'll always see him throw down similar levels of safety, even in PB attempts a lot of the time. But Cheese, meanwhile, is just rushing along and doing all of these hard strats very well. He did throw down 1 safety save, so, you know, he's not really giving Trojan an opportunity to capitalize on any major mistakes because he's not making them, and 2, he's dropping the safety save, so even if they happen, he'll still be safe.
So, Fulla, do you have any explanation on why the second worm didn't die there? It's only a charge dash. Why would the charge dash do less damage than it would some other times? Or is that just random, unexplainable Ori things?
So, well, okay, I can explain it to you, but first we're gonna have to talk about parallel universes. Meanwhile, Cheese is heading to the teleporter. He's already done with Misty. Trojan is chugging through the back half of Misty, but he is still behind by a substantial amount. He really needs Cheese to make some mistakes, but the good news for Trojan is he still has that 1 game advantage, but you know, you don't really want to drop this first game like this, so Trojan's going to do everything he can to make this back up. Oh, good God.
He almost got 1 cycle.
He got some number of cycles, that's for sure.
And Cheese is going for that Yoka cycle. Let's see if he gets lasered or not. This looks good, and he is faster than him.
Well, oh,
Ow.
Goodness.
Go for the Baneling, it's safer. Oh, God.
Or kill the Baneling, but
Okay,
it's
come on, Bird.
there.
Thank you.
Alright. Alright, some brief moments of maybe panic for Cheese. Not entirely sure. You know, I think it could be the case that he's recognized what his pace is because he's on pretty good pace lurking. He's actually near PB pace right now.
Yeah, he is almost exactly at his PB pace, so... or something. So yeah, it would get to his nerves. And again, even if he doesn't have splits up, you know you're ahead. You know you're doing well. So it does get to that point where you're like, crap, I need to play on top of my game and maybe get this PB in a race yet again.
Well, we might be seeing that as the runners pass for yet another high five. Ooh, wow. Yeah, Cheese with a good adaptation to dodge that laser and manages to survive. Trojan gets in to his cutscene skip here, learns his ability, reloads the game. He will be getting the grenade tree at the same time that Cheese is taking the teleporter to Thornfelt Swamp. So this is really solid territory for Cheese lurking, as he even potentially has the option to skip the final grenade jump, except for the fact that he might be on PB pace.
Yeah, I don't think he would skip it just because he knows the pace he is on, unless, you know, he'd rather not risk losing the game. If, like, maybe that 100% guaranteed victory is more important than a PB for him, which I don't think it is, but we'll see what he does. He did go for 6 health. Or is that 5? That's 6.
That is 6, yeah. So Cheese normally goes for 6 health. This is not a departure for him. It's not a safety strat. That's his strats in general. But Trojan making his way to collect his 5th health. He'll also be going 6, as he always does. And he will be teleporting to Horu as CheeseLover is at the door.
So it's pretty much down to the escape, or final segment spaghetti from Cheese, which final segment spaghetti is very, very common. But I don't expect it from Cheese.
Well, Cheese cannot PB anymore, so it may be a blessing for him in disguise, as Door Warp giving him trouble on the first attempt here, but he still has some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. So he just needs to have a clean final escape, but it might be out of the range of being able to skip the grenade jump. Not sure now. Cheese is watching his opponent to see what he opts to do when he gets to the end of this escape, assuming that he doesn't, you know, make any major mistakes on the way there. But I would be surprised. He's playing incredibly well today.
Yeah, he's been doing every segment almost as flawless as it can get. So I don't expect any spaghetti here. And what could go wrong in the final escape? You know, it's such a straightforward, easy.
Yeah, there's definitely no fire anywhere. There's no lava elemental projectiles. Trojan pulling off the first try door warp on his side. It's a free trick for him, but Cheese now coming to the final swim with his, oh my goodness,
oh god,
a slight,
he has 6 health, so the fish position is fine.
Yeah, in fact, he didn't even got the 4 health swim. That was very impressive, and now he's coming in for grenade jump lurking.
Yeah, this is it. Is he gonna? He is taking it. If he soft locks, Trojandude has an open door to victory.
Oh my goodness, he takes his sweet time to line this up, and he does not get it on the first 2 attempts, and he's burning energy. I don't know what his energy counts at, but he gets it on the 3rd attempt, and he is through.
We will be going to game 3.
Oh my goodness. Great finish there for Cheese. Not a PB, but I believe he will be pulling off what he said was his goal of beating Trojan's PB. Trojan, meanwhile, is coming in, and he's really close to his PB as well. It's not within reach, but here goes his final grenade jump.
That's going to be a first try. There it is.
So easy for Trojan.
Okay, so guess it's all up to game 3.
Oh my goodness.
Walk Notter real quick.
He finishes up. The final time is 31:04 for Cheese. GG to him. He forces the bracket reset. He will force a deciding game here. You could call it game 3. You could call it game 2. It's a game. We're going to be playing it.
Yeah. What that matters is we get to watch another, hopefully, less than 30 minutes of Ori.
Oh my goodness. Well, both of these runners just absolutely performing. I want to say up to expectations. For Trojan, he is really close beyond his PB, but I bet he's going to be at least a little disappointed that swamp entry effectively cost him a PB. If he hadn't messed that up, that would be a PB for him.
Yeah, he was 15 seconds behind, and he did die like 3 or so times in swamp entry, so other than the swamp entry, he played better than his PB in the rest of the run.
Wow, what an incredible performance by both players, but particularly Cheese just managing to play very close to his potential for the entire run, making... I don't remember a single major mistake. Do you, Lurking?
From Cheese, I cannot recall anything off the top of my mind, no.
Yeah, I can't think. He missed
I
door
think
warp
the only
once.
thing is that little death in sorrow before curve break, but that was still not costly.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, door warp once, grenade jump twice. That's it. That was nothing. You just made that run look easy. Well, that does it for this game, but not for the match, and it will be continuing tonight. It will be continuing shortly. We did have, we let the runners know in the SRL IRC chat that we'll have a short break before they continue their match. And CheeseLover was heard to respond, "Thank God, my heart can't handle this much pumping."
Yeah, I could understand that if I was in his shoes. Knowing you're ahead and you're very close to getting to those quarterfinals, it is scary. But he did pull off game 1, and he just needs to replicate that in game 2, and he is up.
We'll see if he's able to pull that off in just a little bit. We will be getting going, looks like, in about 5 minutes. But for now, Lurking lets you and me, we'll sit tight for just a few. We will let everybody catch their collective breath, and we will be back in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back. We have one more game for you between our number 9 seed Trojandude12 and our number 8 seed CheeseLover. This will be the deciding game of the division finals in the near division here. And I'm still Voligen. I'm still here with Lurking. Lurking, you're still an assassin, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm still the same person. Still doing the same things. Yeah.
Good, perfect. Well, we just saw Trojan manage to, pull off a very solid run that was just not enough. It was within 15 seconds of his PB, and CheeseLover managed to say, "I'm just going to, do a run that's even faster than your PB and take you out." Now we've got one game left between Cheese and Trojan. Lurking, what do you think we're going to see here? Who's gonna take this?
I want to say Trojandude's gonna take it. I feel like after losing the first game, he's just more fired up, and he's like, "Okay, I need to win. I need to focus," and I expect him to pull it back.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I'm a big believer in CheeseLover, especially because I know that as a player, he's been one who, he gets on very, very, very good paces, and then he has some real nerves, and they kind of strike near the end of his runs, and he's lost a lot of really good pace runs. But the thing about that, Lurking, is in order to lose a good pace run, you have to get a good pace run, and CheeseLover manages to do that so often. I think this is going to be his race to prove, what a truly top contender he is, and he'll be able to move on to the top 8.
Yeah, I expect it to be a way closer game. I just feel like we're gonna have one heck of a race coming up as it starts up right now.
Yep, we'll see the familiar things. Trojan will probably do a color code. Cheese will probably not. Yep, it looks like Trojan's got a nice light blue there.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those troll color codes that kind of make Ori blend in the back, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, it'll be fine once we get into these dark sections of the Sunken Glades, but in the meantime, Trojan bonking on the ceiling. Oh, Cheese did as well. That's hilarious.
Yep. They just want to keep it tight. They want to keep it exciting.
Well, I think that after surviving Hydra versus Monkley, I can survive, a close match between these two, but I don't know that. So I'm a little bit worried that they're going to test my my heart here.
Yeah, it's fine. If anything would to happen, we have Grumelius, the god commentator himself, in the call as a truck, so he could cover for you.
Okay, that's fair. So if I die, Mr. Melios in the truck, please make sure to take my place and then carry on my tradition of solid top tier commentary as we have actual game action going on that I'm just not talking about.
I mean, it's just a Frankie fight, just shooting at Frankies. But yeah. As we see again, Cheese does pull up a little bit ahead because he uses scroll wheel while Trojan decides to face his shots instead.
One thing from last time is that Cheese was able to open up this early lead, largely, of course, by virtue of just on that Frankie fight, by virtue of that scroll wheel shooting. And then he continued with a very solid wall jump segment and a very solid dash segment, and just every segment of the game was very
solid
strong.
Everything.
And Trojan never caught up. Not once did Trojan have a lead in that race. So I don't know if we're, if that's something for us to expect to see again, or if, at some point will the nerves actually hit Cheese and then cause him to, maybe take a death and fall behind. Oh God, he's having the same problem again on that same slime.
Well, in this race, we cannot say that Trojan never had the lead because he does.
There you go.
Even if Cheese pulls off right now, we could still say Trojan was ahead at one point.
Indeed, just like, oh no, wait, I was going to go on an anecdote about myself, but that's irrelevant. We're talking about Trojan and Cheese here. Trojan picking up the health cell, Cheese picking up the health cell, just slightly behind. And that 2 health ghost or, being a real annoyance. But fortunately, this 1 second deficit, again, really just doesn't mean that much.
Yeah, unless it's one of those games where that 2 seconds does matter, but
that never.
We don't speak of those.
No, we've never had a race that was within 2 seconds. Okay, all right. We've never had a race that was within like one and a half seconds. Okay, fine. We've never had a race within half a second. There you go.
And Cheese does get the level up on the way down this time, unlike the last race where he was low in XP. So we'll see if that affects his gameplay in BRB at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to too much, but it might make him just kill one extra slime. Now coming in, Trojan with the lead at wall jump this time with a very solid time, and she's coming in just behind him, so they're able to, kind of continue good early game performance. We have seen in some of our other races, at this point in the game, lurking, it's very easy for nerves to lead to a wall jump death, but fortunately, neither Trojan nor Cheese is having that in either of their races.
Yeah, and, we have recently discovered ways to minimize the losses of a wall jump death, so let's see if they opt to take that safety save.
Yes, the good old Terra save. Of course, Terra, the inventor of literally every strat in this game. I can't think of anything that wasn't invented by Terra, other than a lot of things. But one of them being a safety save that I would not be surprised to see one or both runners drop along the way here with an energy that they just have. There's no reason for them to use it for anything else. So
he does drop one. Trojan did save a little bit earlier than what Terra does, but still a save.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
Well, we're heading into Black Group Arrows again. I'm still with this very narrow lead, but this time it's a very narrow lead for Trojan instead of for Cheese. But that little menuing flub by Trojan evens it up again, and we're back neck and neck.
So, Vula, can you tell us about what the word that we just got from the truck was? I think it's interesting to say.
Okay, so we had at wall jump a 1 second delta, and therefore it is anybody's game. It is literally synced.
Yeah.
Hopefully that that conveys the thought appropriately.
Yeah, it does. It's anyone's game. Like anyone out of those two people.
Right. One of them. Really, it could be any of the two of them at all.
Unless they frame tie, which I don't know what we do then, but...
Cry. Trojan getting trolled by that orb drop again. That is a spectacularly bad orb drop. It took so long.
And then it did drop on the energy crystal too, so it just made it awkward to pick up as well.
Pretty much the same thing that happened to him last time, Larkin. Just getting that same annoying troll there. I wonder if there's something, systemic about the way that he does that section that results in that.
I mean, some people say it is random, but I don't believe so. I think there has to be some sort of something that you have to do to make the consistency or inconsistency happen.
Well, that did give Cheese basically a several second advantage, but he was already, he carried in a 1.5 second advantage here, but fortunately the cycles in Black Group Arrows pretty much mean that as long as you don't reload, you're basically getting the same time no matter what, and as you see, she's still carrying that 1.5 second advantage here.
Yeah, and Trojan did do that weird slime dodge again, so I guess he was high in XP yet again, but he does pull it off safely, and just a couple seconds difference. I don't think it changed at all in BRB because of that whole cycle thing. And how...
I'm sorry, okay. So I normally don't respond to the Twitch chat during a race because that's that's unprofessional. But there is a really interesting commentary point coming up here, which is that Trojandude is in the Twitch chat of the Speed Gaming stream, and he is talking to other people about snacks. What is going on here? Where is he finding?
Yeah, they're talking about PB&J and Nutella and banana. I don't know. It just says something about Trojan and how chill of a person he is.
Oh my god. No, it says that he has a girlfriend who's on his frickin' account.
Oh. Okay.
Dang it.
Got me there. I mean, well. I will be fair. In my race, I did say a few things in Twitch chat.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of things, so I was very confused. But fortunately, everything's fine. We're doing Frankie Walk. That's the game is happening. They're still basically neck and neck. Trojan having a little flub on that dash line, so that sets him about another second behind.
Cheese gets a kind of weird Frankie hop. So this Trojan, they didn't get the optimal first section.
Yeah, I don't think Trojan even goes for the optimal manipulation. I don't think he has a setup for it or knows the manipulations to do it. Cheese, meanwhile, yeah, he looks like he'll be getting an extra hop here, but that's not a huge deal. It's about 2 seconds.
Yeah. And let's see, Death Gauntlet. Hopefully Trojan doesn't have as scary of a Death Gauntlet as he did last time, because I don't want to have to be that scary. Okay. This was way nicer. No
Death Glide from either runner. She's just ascending normally. Trojan ascending normally, picking up the energy cell right behind. And Cheese actually has not dropped a safety save yet. He opts to hold it until the bridge. Trojan already put his down, so he is heading down. They're both going to be doing their grotto cycle attempts.
Yeah. Cheese got it last time, Trojan didn't. And this is replicated this run. That 8-second lead that Cheese got last time, he got it again.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate turn again for Trojan. Is that he had the lead earlier. It turned around a little bit at that menuing at Black Burrow's entrance, and now it's about a 10-second deficit. So, again, this is the early game isn't Trojan's strongest suit. He's good at the early game, but he's not quite Cheese level good. But if he's able to stay close enough and not fall too much further behind, then he will still have the good shot at being able to make up the time in the late game.
It's an interesting phrase, not Cheese level good. Are you that big of a fan of Cheese? If so, what is your favorite cheese?
Personally, I'm a big fan of provolone. Provolone's really good. Pepper Jack too.
Yeah, provolone's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, both of those.
We do have a race though, so let's talk about food later.
Yeah, it's true. We should talk about the runners. And CheeseLover, his favorite cheese is brie, and that will help him not at all as he comes up towards his grotto skip, flubs the movement just a little bit. Wow, I wonder what's going on here. Oh, beautiful first try movement from him there, but it gave Trojan a very substantial opportunity to catch up, and he does.
Trojan gets the first try as well. Wait, that's again, menus are not free.
Not at all. So there you go. Trojan is now nearly caught up to Cheese, just a few seconds behind, and that's exactly what he needed. A little bit of
that little jump. Trojan is very, very close right now.
Oh, I love this. Now we've got that not quite sync, but we've got that close gameplay going on. Oh, Cheese missing his slowdown skip, and Trojan gets it, so that narrows the gap even further.
That's like a second, I would say. It's about a second difference.
Oh,
Trojan does actually pull back sometime this time, and he is in good pace to continue this.
Yeah, and as I believe Grim earlier during a previous race today was saying, that one of the cool things about races that are this close is you get to draw attention to very minor points of movement there. CheeseLover getting blocked by Gandalf, Trojandude getting blocked as well, where they both got knocked back away from the slime. You could instead get knocked through him, but neither runner gets that. Cheese with a very nice dash glide through there, but Trojan doing pretty much the same movement, so no major differences here either. We'll see if the wall climbing causes any difference at all. Flub on this jump, which is more difficult than it looks, that is. And Trojan's even closer now.
Yeah, so let's see. Ow. Okay, Cheese. Be careful.
That's fine. Health is a resource.
Until you run out of it.
Well, that's what resources are like. They're expendable.
Yeah. But we need to be careful with how we use our water and oils and gases, We could run out eventually. We need to be careful.
That's right. So Cheese getting to the Ginso door, not quite as incredible pace as last time, so Trojan is going to be able to follow close behind him. Cheese 12:20 going into the Ginso tree. Trojan 12:24 going into the Ginso tree. 4-second difference right now.
And again, no real mistakes from either of them, but Cheese did pull a little bit of time back between Water Vein and Ginso. It's just that little movement optimizations that he has over Trojan starting to show a little bit.
We'll see how these gamer cycles go. Trojan doing basically, again, the same movement as Cheese, so no time differential there as they both get basically the same gamer cycle. Cheese also does not do that different route that some of the other top runners do, and neither does Trojan, so they're both just having the same experience in the Ginso tree. It looks like you're pretty much seeing the same gameplay, but offset by about 4 seconds.
And apparently, I think Trojan is the exact same amount ahead of his PB as he was last run, so he's in almost the exact same pace.
That is crazy, and of course, you know, it once again speaks to that level of consistency we know Trojan has.
Yeah.
Well, here is a spot where we will definitely see a slight difference, as Trojan will be using the shot pacing here, trying to get as many shots as possible, but it's a lot more difficult to get 8 shots per cycle using this pacing method. So Cheese will be expected to take even more of an advantage here, but of course, there's lots of game left to go, and that's at most about 4 seconds.
Yep. 4 seconds. It's, you know, like a little... These things do matter, but then when it comes to other tricks like Fast Stompless or a thorough batch death, that's what really matters more, and could just negligate all of these. Is negligate even a word? But
Sure.
yeah, it would just neglect all of these little micro optimizations and micro time losses.
She's getting the hyperspeed into the bash room, very nicely done. This one's pretty challenging to get. Trojan going for the normal movement, which actually isn't even that much slower, so no big deal. But he is coming into the bash tree before Cheese walks away. It's an 8-second tree animation, so the deficit is even closer than that.
As we see, he's 12 seconds behind his previous race, which is, as we said, his previous race was in the same pace, almost as close as his PV, so this race he's not failing to show that level of gameplay.
Trojan doing some different double bash strats on those projectiles in order to set up his save, but Cheese had a tough time setting his save up on the top platform, and he's having a tough time getting the projectiles to go up there, so now they are literally tied in.
And
Cheese
he does take a dab. Trojan is in the lead.
Oh my goodness. Oh, but
And he
Trojan!
does... Oh my god.
Wow.
What is happening right now?
I don't
Usually
know,
you
there's
expect
something in the
spaghetti...
water here.
Yeah, you expect the spaghetti to happen at the very top while doing Kidu, not just that. At least nothing happens there.
Yeah, they were both able to get their key dupe successfully, and they're both continuing their way up. So Trojan's still basically just several seconds behind Cheese, thanks to those dueling deaths. But, you know, now we're coming upon, you know, this mini-boss, and the real deal breaker here, Swamp Entry, which was basically the decider last time.
Yeah, but come on, like you said this mini-boss, but whoever dies to this mini-boss, let's be honest.
I mean, I was just being polite to the mini-boss, you know, I didn't want to be rude and discount him.
Yeah, fair enough. So, Cheese is still just a few seconds ahead in the teleport, you know, less than 1 teleport animation.
Yep, Cheese arriving in Moon Grotto at 16:15. Trojan arriving at 16:18, so 3 seconds. Not a significant difference, but we will be seeing some time difference here coming up as we get to this cutscene skip. Cheese will go for some blind movement during this. Trojan will instead pick up the XP orb that you mentioned last time, so it'll be a slightly different strat here.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see these like little variations. Wait, what? What's happening in Cheese's side?
Oh no, did he crash?
What? I heard like an Ori taking damage, and then
Yeah,
his
he
game might have
crashed.
crashed.
He let us know in the SRL chat that he crashed, so he is getting his game restarted as quickly as possible.
Oh, that's
but
so unfortunate, especially in a race.
Trojan, meanwhile, having some rough times with the shot, but he does get it going. We are still waiting to see Cheese's stream if he gets his game running again.
Hopefully he gets it working, because it's been longer than it would usually take to reload. Okay, he is back.
Trojan, meanwhile, continuing on to the Stomp Tree, finally getting through his Swamp Entry cleanly enough. He was able to get through. Cheese is back in the game and is continuing through, but there's potentially a very significant lead right now for Trojan as a result of this occurrence.
Yeah, that was like, I think, I want to say over maybe close to a minute or so, which is very painful to have. I'm not sure if we're gonna just let the game player do something to kind of make the game more fair for Cheese.
Yeah, we are getting some word from the truck. We're still getting messages from them, so we will wait before we relay that to you guys. Meanwhile, Trojan is continuing along his way and will be heading up to this ability cell to pick that up. Cheese is just having a very, very rough time getting this set up.
Yeah, after having that, it was just completely, gets you in the wrong mindset. It hurts. It's very painful to play after having that in Trojan taking a death to the lasers.
Okay. Trojan does pause. We are going to pause the race. We're going to restart from a recent point, I believe the Grotto Teleporter, at which point...
Yeah, I think we're restarting in the Grotto Teleporter and try maybe to replicate that 5 or so seconds difference.
Yeah, we're going to pull that information from the video as well, so we will know exactly how different they were at that point. I read it out as 3 seconds or so, so we're going to go back to that teleporter, and that should allow us to have a clean finish to this race without a crash marring the outcome.
Yeah, it would not be fair to just have Cheese lose the game because of something that's completely out of his control.
All right, so in the meantime, the runners will get their game set back up to the point in time where we are placing them, which should be the Grotto Teleporter. But in the meantime, just I guess let's talk about that, right? Because even though we are resolving this issue, that is to say, we're not going to let the crash affect Cheese's potential of winning this race. If that happens to you in the middle of a race, what do you think that does to his state of mind lurking?
Honestly, I think it would still affect me even after resetting and going back to the same difference. You're gonna have that that thought in the back of your mind. It could happen again. It could happen again.
Right. I mean, we can.
So this will be difficult for Cheese even after bringing it back. It just puts you in a very weird mindset.
Yeah, I mean, what we can do is obviously give them the opportunity to restart from fair competitive point, but what we can't do is reverse the fact that a crash occurred. So,
yeah. I think they're gonna try to get back to the teleporter, maybe reload a backup save, closest and play towards the teleporter, and then start again from there. I think that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and let we have an entire team of tournament planners who are working on figuring out the resolution here. They're going to get the files resolved back to the correct state. But Cheese, in fact, just going on that same topic, Cheese even specifically in the race chat asked to have a minute to himself after that occurred. Even when we said, okay, we're going to reverse the race back to this point, Cheese was like, can you give me a minute, please? So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of possibility that Cheese's mindset will have been negatively affected. Hopefully not too negatively.
As we did mention earlier, Cheese, he generally, he has some tournament nerves, and he said it, it could get in his way. And him saying that he needs a few seconds, that would say he's probably having very difficult times with his, nerves and just thoughts. So I really hope that wouldn't affect him much into the race.
Yep. So we're just we're making sure that it's as close as possible to the previous state of the race, where Trojan, there's an annoying thing about the Ginso mini boss. After you kill him, it auto saves the game, but does not save after you've collected his XP. So the runners are actually having to fix their XP to recover that.
Does he give you 100 XP?
It's 30.
30. I was gonna say you can pick up that orb, but that orb gives you more than that. So
yeah, correct. It's kind of a comedy of errors.
That's a weird thing. Yeah, they're trying to figure out what enemy to kill up here.
Yeah, we're just making sure that both runners are going to be as comfortable as possible with this situation. Just take a breath. There's no, we certainly don't want people to get more stressed just trying to refix their XP
It's
to
like
be
the
whatever it's supposed to
Frankie
be.
did work, or it gave good enough XP. I want to say.
It's 9, so they'll need to kill a couple of them.
Yeah, because I saw okay, he's respawning the Frankie and he wants to kill it 3 different times, and then he would be 3 off, which is not really. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Okay.
All right, so he's got his 3, and he'll be continuing down.
Yeah, 37 looks good.
Of course, we can see this, but none of the viewers can, as we're sitting
Oh.
on the, the.
Okay. Just what I was saying, in our screen, we could see them up in the core skip room trying to farm some XP, and I didn't notice that the actual stream doesn't have that up set. Looks like they are set, and they should, the race should resume anytime now.
Yeah, they're just getting their timers set up. They're going to work out how they're going to be, kind of getting back to that same deficit that they previously had,
Yeah.
and they'll
Which
go
was
for
around
it.
3 to 4 seconds, so. Right now, we're just making sure to know exactly how much time difference there was, and just finding a way to tell the runners and when to start and keep that same deficit.
Whew, what an unusual event to have occurred, but
Yeah.
hopefully the break is enough to reset kind of both of them to a similar mental state, so that rather than Cheese just being the only one who's kind of perturbed, they're both kind of as relaxed as possible.
I do think Trojan is also kind of worried about it because, as we mentioned earlier, Swamp Entry is his worst trick, or the one he's most uncomfortable with it. He got through it very cleanly the first time, so he's probably. I would be worried about it having to deal with it again.
Yeah, I mean, having to start the game at Swamp Entry effectively is pretty scary.
It's like, yeah, you've been on break for like 5 minutes. Come do this difficult trick real quick.
Whew. Man,
So-
and we're in such a close state too. This is gonna be crazy if it gets going again, lurking.
Yeah, when we get it going again, it's gonna be basically tied, so. So how are you doing, Fulgen?
I'm doing all right, but probably better than these runners are doing. But I know in this situation, if I were in their shoes, I would definitely, as Cheese, I would be destroyed. There's no way I would have the mental composure to go on. But even as Trojan, like just being jarred out of my groove, in the middle of a run, even though I know Trojan, the person that he is, I know that he's absolutely would be in favor of, like, if he were making the decision, he would have absolutely said, yes, we should resume from a previous point so that this can be fair. But unfortunately, that isn't going to help him.
Yeah, and as we did mention, Trojan likes to be in his own world when he's running. He doesn't watch anything, doesn't get chatty. He just runs on his own, and having to cut off in the middle could affect that. Like, he's probably in that zone where he was getting very into it, and now it just got cut off.
Yeah, so we'll give a quick description of the way this is going to work, because we'll probably be able to see this on stream. Where we've got both runners starting their timers from a specific point, 16 minutes. And what they're going to do is there will be a shared countdown. They'll both start at the same moment on their timers, but CheeseLover will teleport at 16:06 as he did previously, and Trojandude will teleport at 16:09 as he did previously, and then they'll be at the same deficit as before, and they will be on even footing effectively.
Yeah, that was a very good way to deal with it, I think. And we're gonna resume in just a second.
And we're just making sure both runners are fully comfortable with and understand the procedure here, because obviously it's a lot less obvious what we're doing here than in a normal SRL race start, but they both seem to be ready to go, so we'll be getting started really soon.
The timer of them will not automatically start because the astral countdown isn't actually counting down. They're gonna have to, I think, manually start it, and someone's gonna have to count down for them instead of the bots. So it's just a little more awkward to start off again.
All right, well, we'll be getting back to the action momentarily. You see they're both ready to teleport into Moon Grotto and resume the race. And we will be getting going very shortly. There they go.
Okay, they're going.
All right, Cheese at 16:06 clicks the teleport. Trojan at 16:09, 3 seconds
There we
behind,
go.
and they're off.
We're back to pretty much where we were. Alright, so I guess the next problem we have is swamp entry. As we mentioned before, Trojan did have problems with it earlier, so we'll see how that happens. I'm gonna continue commentary as if nothing ever happened.
Nothing did happen. Everything is totally fine,
It's
but
just same close race that we had earlier.
Cheese will be coming in, and he does perform his cutscene skip, and Trojan will be going for this XP we talked about in the first race. Ooh, a little bit of a flub on the jump there, but he's all right. And there will be continuing in, so he doesn't have to do any blind movement, but he will have to watch that cutscene a little bit later on. And right now, it's going to look like it's a little closer than it is. Here we go. Oh, Trojan's frog very close to falling, but he manages to salvage. Cheese taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, and Cheese already took 2 damage before he got to the frog while doing the blind movement. Trojan gets in first try, I believe.
Yeah, he takes the lead here as Cheese is getting his shot redirect as well. So Cheese is in, but a little bit behind Trojan.
Yeah.
But as we said,
Another thing
there's a
that happened
cutscene
is that Cheese was trying to drop a safety save, but the frog came too close to him, so he had to chase him out, go back, save, and then go back out to the frog.
yeah, Trojan also pulled off a very nice hyperspeed there to continue his lead. That actually only saves a very small amount of time, but it's always nice to have every time save you can get. And here he comes to the Stomp Tree, 1734. Cheese hot on his heels, 1739.
So
Ooh.
5 seconds difference, so I guess Trojan caught up about 8 seconds in the segment due to a very clean what's it called again? Swamp entry. Yeah, that.
That one, yeah. Much
A lot of
cleaner than the
true.
water here in the swamp, let me tell you. And neither runner really wants to take a dip in there. Fortunately, they both avoid it. Now, they'll both be going for this frog cell, and then remember, again, when Trojan gets to that cutscene, he is going to have to watch it, so that will probably allow Cheese to get back in the lead real quick.
First off, they do need to use Ringo to get that little ability cell up there. Trojan doesn't have any problems with it. Then
Cheese's setup is great as well. And here's Trojan's cutscene, so Cheese will be passing momentarily, but Trojan is now able to get going. He's right there behind him.
yeah, Cheese is slightly in the lead now, but Kirk cutscene skip.
Both runners successful last time. Cheese successful again. Trojan successful again. No difference there.
100% stays, even though Cheese is overall is not 100%, but it is. None of them have missed that skip.
Oh my gosh, Cheese barely surviving. You see the mouse movements of terror there, but he messes up the spider shot. So, okay, he is able to salvage and get out again. Oh my goodness, that was a terrifying moment there, Larking.
This is giving me flashbacks to Roos versus Randomson.
way earlier in the tournament, but yeah. Whew, here we go into the charge flame tree. Both runners dragging their Frankie along, and they'll be heading in here to pick up this tree. Cheese just a second ahead of Trojan.
Yeah. As a lot of people are saying in Twitch chat, it's tied.
Oh my god, it's tied. There you go, my best Scottish.
I think it was pretty solid Scottish.
Thank you. All right, well, the menuing here, again, you see Cheese is menuing slightly more optimal, and so he's able to get even slightly more of an advantage. But again, all this late game play, this is where Trojan shines, Larking. This is his bread and butter.
Yep, but as we saw from Cheese last time, he showed the same level of consistency and the same level of very good gameplay. So even though this is Trojan's playing field, so is Cheese's.
It's the rare double home field advantage. They're both at home right here, and as we continue on towards Fast Stompless, we're gonna get the rare treat of the synced Fast Stompless as they're both going for this trick at the same time. This is a treat. It's very rare to have a match this close, this deep.
I think one of my favorite spots to where the game could be synced is when the rocks get stomped.
Well, here we we go. Cheese, his position, his shot. Let's go,
Perfect
Trojan.
shot. Trojan
Bad
gets
shot.
too high.
All right, that one looks good.
Okay, seems good. Sampless is flawless for both, as Richard is telling us. Cheese gets it, and Trojan does as well.
Beautiful job by both runners. Trojan losing just about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds on that missed shot. Just a rough time there, but otherwise, pretty much keeping pace with Cheese. But now here we go into the Sarabash and the entirety of Sara Pass, and Cheese once again has gone with 4 health to this point. He did not opt to take the Spider Cove's health cell. He knows that he can't afford to do stuff like that if he's going to go against Trojan here.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where they can't make mistakes. Like Cheese did have a couple of little bad movements in Sorrow earlier. He can't afford it this time.
Ooh, Cheese flubbing the first double bash. Trojan getting it. Flubbing the
Trojan
second
is in
one
the lead
too.
again.
Oh, but Trojan's double bash was low and he takes a death and he's all the way back at the bottom. And Cheese is in.
He's in. Okay. That was 2 very, very quick lead changes.
Yep, that is a rough time for Trojan, but he's
already
having
back.
another rough time here.
God. Okay. Okay, this looks good. Nice. Okay, Trojan's in there.
Whew. That was a scary situation.
Yeah, I'd like to call that bunk ass.
Trojan would like to call it behind him, and he would like to call it at least a perfect rest of the game here, as he really can't afford any more mistakes. He will throw down this safety save, and he'll use that in a little bit to set up his Terror Break. While CheeseLover is picking up the charge jump tree, Trojan is coming in behind him, about maybe 20 seconds behind.
Yeah, but Cheese does have to go through that cave that gave him problems earlier, so he needs to be very careful. And it did happen again.
Wow. You know what, Lurking? I'm blaming you. Yeah, it is.
I'll take the
You
blame.
take another death. Trojan's in the lead now.
Cheese is in the lead again. This is why you go 5 health.
Now, one advantage Cheese has here is that Trojan has to stop at the bottom here and set up his Terror Break save on this, but he is up at the ceiling, saving and taking the death, and Cheese is right behind him, so Cheese behind
Just a
by
couple
about 2
seconds difference now.
Oh, but he gets the better laser cycle, so Cheese is in the lead again. Oh my goodness.
How many lead changes have we had in the past 2 minutes?
Yes.
Good
That's
answer.
all I got. They're both going for the charge jump into the slow zone here, so they'll pretty much be nearly synced on the Sunstone cutscene. A slightly better movement by Trojan to make up a little of that time for that laser cycle. We'll see how the cycles look on the way out. I think Trojan's looks good. I think Cheese also looks good. Here we go. All the menuing.
Menus are difficult.
All right.
Tie 5.
Cheese having to wait just a little bit.
They
Trojan
both
having to
did
wait as
wait,
well.
so...
Larkin, we got Misty ahead of us, and then, you know, kind of the last stretch of the game. What do you think we're going to see here? Are we going to see perfect clean play from both, or are we going to see some flubs?
I want to say for clean play. But, you know, I'm going to work some reverse commentators cursing and say they're both going to just do horribly in these sections.
Yeah, these players are both completely, again, reverse psychology. They're completely unskilled. They have no idea what they're doing. All these movements are going all wrong for them as they're perfectly executing the wrong movements and not
Look at them just burning all that energy, being just completely just being slow, taking that very slow, like, dash, whatever.
In the meantime, look at Trojan's movement, catching him up to Cheese again.
I think it's like a few... like less than a second?
Yeah.
Trojan does take a safety save though, so he will have 1 less energy to burn. Ow!
Oh god, he falls into the spike pit, cannot afford to take any more damage here. That pit is terrifying, as our man in the truck Sigma will tell you any day. Not a good time. Cheese manages to eke out another lead going to the climb tree.
Yeah. I want to say that happened because he did use the safety save, which led him to not have the 1 energy that he's, I think, used to having, where he could just charge dash to the slime. That's what happens if you mess up your muscle memory just a little bit, and you could go out of sync.
That's a great point about the the danger. So the so-called danger of safety. Trojan now coming into the same spot as Cheese. Another high five. There'll be a lot of those. They're so close together. He might be getting even more nervous. As you can see, his movements are kind of getting a little bit off. But so far, so good.
Trojan,
Cheese
please.
took a little damage earlier, but he's still okay.
A little damage, that means he is on the death zone of one spike hit. But he does get safely, and I'm assuming he's gonna safety save up on that top ledge.
Yeah, I would be surprised if either runner did not.
If
He doesn't. Oh my
He's
goodness.
still at one spike hit.
Trojan
Please
doesn't
don't go.
either.
Please don't do meatballs. Okay, he did.
Oh my god!
Almost hit that top
Hitbox
one.
Passed right
was-
under Trojan, does not even go for it, lurking.
It was almost too high.
Oh,
Perfect mini boss kill.
Trojan needs to match that if he wants to be able to keep up. He's throwing down a safety save. That's normal Trojan strats. Oh, what
He
happened to
just
his energy
blew
there?
one of them up and then.
Oh, this is a rough time loss for Trojan. He doesn't get a hit
Oh,
there.
no.
Oh, he doesn't get the
You
reflect
can bash
either.
that boss, and
Oh my goodness.
Cheese's lead expanded a lot now.
Yeah,
Trojan
that
has
is-
no more room for error.
Yeah, that's a big time gain for Cheese, and he just has the last couple sections here to finish up. This is winner take all. This is it. Game 3. There's no room for either of them to make any more mistakes. Trojan has to hope that Cheese is going to afford him some opportunity here.
Which doesn't seem like Cheese will, in the way he's been playing.
Cheese comes in for his, again, this is an intentional death he takes here to force the door open forever so that he'll be able to pass out that way after picking up grenade.
Cheese will obviously die to that laser down there, right? There we go.
This guy with the
Always
reverse
works.
psychology.
Yeah, it always works.
Alright, Cheese's cutscene skip. This one's a lot cleaner than last time. He seems a little bit more confident this time. Might have fewer shaking hands right now. Trojan, meanwhile, going in for his Joker cycle, no problem. So he's right behind, but that mini-boss issue causing him a little bit more trouble than he could really afford.
Yeah. So, another high five. As he mentioned, we're gonna have a lot of them, but I think this is gonna be the last.
Yeah, and this one, not a good sign for Trojan. As he is behind by enough where Cheese...
Oh, Cheese
has a-
feels the rocket jump through. He's gonna have to wait for the laser to go.
He does get good movement up the rest of the way, though, but it's a little bit slower. If Trojan's able to pull off that rocket jump, that'll save a bunch of seconds. Cheese, meanwhile, taking the bottom route safely, getting to his health cell. Here goes Trojan. First rocket
Oh,
jump,
God.
second...
That's a spike.
Whew.
He's fine.
Alright, he
he's
doesn't
fine.
go for the second rocket jump, so he is alive, lurking, but missed out on
That's what
opportunity to
matters.
save more than time.
Because if he did die there, that would pretty much just... That would lead to have Cheese need... Okay, I can't even do words anymore.
Sounds good.
Cheese would have to have a disaster in order for Trojan to come back if that did happen, so that was a good choice. Wait, Trojan played safely.
You'll see, Cheese does not go for the 6th health, so he's changing up his strats compared to last time, almost certainly because of the fact that he's not that far ahead of Trojan. He knows he can't burn 4 seconds on that health cell. Trojan, meanwhile,
He's
not
at the
even
horror door.
or anything.
So, last run, when Cheese was at the door, Trojan had just teleported to Swamp.
Yeah, this one's a little closer, don't you think?
Yeah. So, it's still very consistent trace, as in Cheese is a little bit ahead, but it's just getting scarier. Cheese
Oh, boy. Oh god, Cheese is having some real menu problems. He copied
Okay,
his
just copy it. Better than deleting it accidentally. Gets a second try.
He gets his
Very
second
inconsistent.
warp. Oh, and Trojan is right behind him on his door warp attempt, and it is
First
free
try.
for Trojan.
Are they gonna be in the same cutscene again?
Oh my goodness, this is so close, and you know that Cheese is gonna be sweating as this is gonna get down to the last grenade jump here.
Yeah, and do you remember, Cheese had some troubles with it last time. I think he got it 3rd or 4th try. He cannot afford that this time.
Trojan's
yeah.
heal. He's still waiting to be able to even start the escape as Cheese is navigating the lava pillar. Trojan is making sure that he does not take damage anywhere, so is Cheese. And coming into this last section here, lurking again, the 5 HP for Cheese difference.
He does have 5. The finish position is good with a good stomp. This should be fine.
Oh, he does. He's got Trojan as well coming in.
Up to grenade jump.
This is it, lurking. Cheese gets his position, he gets his aim, and he doesn't get it on the first attempt. Cheese, Trojan's aiming his... Trojan gets it! Oh my goodness, Trojan comes from behind with the victory. Cheese getting his right afterwards, and Trojan will win the division here today.
We said it, it could go down to grenade jump, and it did.
Wow, the last
my card is racing. I don't know what the runners are doing right now. Wow.
That's incredible. What an incredible performance by Trojan.
This is gonna be up there with some of our closest races.
Oh my god, dude, it is.
Just Trojan, like 6 seconds or something, it feels like. Let's see.
Crosses the finish line at 31:40.
With a 31:45 for Cheese.
Wow.
5 seconds difference.
GG to both runners. Just an incredible performance, and especially Trojan at the last second with the calm nerves to get through the final escape. No mistakes, flawless execution, first try grenade jump, first try door warp. Wow, lurking.
Wow. Villagen, I think you should commentate every game, because whenever you're on commentary, insane stuff happens.
I'm not alive anymore. I don't... Whew.
So, I believe this will put Trojan against Monkley in the quarterfinals. Am I getting my
you are correct,
wrong?
Sir.
Yes.
That will be the matchup in the quarterfinals, the first confirmed matchup in the quarterfinals of this tournament, the top 8. It will be Trojandude, the number 9 seed, versus Monkley, the number 17. Both players upsetting the higher seed in their division.
Yeah, it's just overall, this tournament has had many upsets, and this was one of them. I don't know if I want to call this an upset, but it was just very good comeback and just very intense late game.
Well, you know, we've talked about this all bracket long, lurking. The near division was really the one where anything could happen. There were the 4 top seeds in this group were Trojandude, CheeseLover, Lost Dedu, and Steinman, all of whom were just incredible players, all of whom had the opportunity and definitely like the real possibility of winning this division. And it's actually just a shame that only Trojandude is able to move on, because they all played so well.
Yeah, but the whole division did deliver what we expected from it. Like, it was just overall good match after good match after good match out of them. It's sad to see this division end.
Yeah, but what races we will take from this division. We will definitely be able to, watch back some of these races and just say that these were some of the best Ori races of all time, really.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like we have Cheese and Trojandude here with us for our interview, so I guess for both of you, how are you guys feeling after that?
Cheese, you go first.
Part of me is sad that I didn't get it, but the other part of me is saying I played so horribly throughout all of that I didn't deserve it anyways, so I can't really be too mad at myself.
After the 2 races that we just watched you play, Cheese, to hear you be like, man, I played so horribly the whole time, what?
I mean there was nothing major that I did that lost more than how many seconds, but every minor thing that saves half a second or a second, I just completely failed. And even before the crash happened, I was like playing really bad from what I can remember. So that race at all. So I don't think I deserved it. So GG.
From my perspective, you were playing
GG, man.
pretty much flawlessly. So both of you just put a very, very good play in that race. I should say both races.
Trojan, let's come to you because I know that you're like, I just want to hear you try to speak coherent sentences while you are currently experiencing the feelings that you're experiencing.
It's pretty hard right now, man. I just have to say first off, GG Cheese, man. I could not have thought of a better division finals opponent. Those are some crazy races, man. And I just like, I'm speechless. I said this in my notes to commentary before, but I already made my expectation of getting top 16. And that top AO would be over the moon, and that's about how I feel right now.
All right, you got me choked up a little bit, but I'm gonna hold it in. You know, yeah, I mean, you said as you did say, this was already, you were already as far as you were hoping to get, and going any further obviously is just like is a bonus basically. But boy, it's a really nice bonus. You know, you get to look forward to a match against Monkley, you know, with a possible trip to the semifinals of the tournament here. You could be in the top 4. You know, last tournament, obviously, you did come in the top 8 in the tournament, and it was a much smaller field. Being able to do that in this tournament with twice the size of the tournament, like, what? Does this like make you feel like you can just do anything in this game? Like, are you gonna now be like, you know what, I'm gonna go get a 28, let's do it?
No, unfortunately no 28 for me for this category. I mean, I know I can get a 30. I've been teasing it for the last about 3 days of solid practice that I've been able to get. But pretty much this gives me a lot of confidence going into the quarterfinals against Monkley, because I viewed it as I had a little more pressure on myself than I normally do because I saw that Hydra lost, and I was like, oh my god, like the semis could be there if I win, and Cheese is just as good of a runner as Monkley is in my opinion. So I felt like this would be a good gauge. If I could actually pull out a win against Cheese, I could maybe have a shot against Monkley. And yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, you definitely can. You played insanely well here, and while Monkley is a very difficult opponent, anything is possible. So I do want to give another question to you, Cheese. So you are unfortunately out of the tournament for now. What do you think of your overall performance, and what are your plans after that? Are you in the same boat as the people who want to be like, I'm tired of Ori, I'm going to a different speed game, or are you still gonna stick here?
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with my performance overall. I mean, I basically signed up like after I completed my first run in like 9 months of this game. I was getting like a 39 minutes or something, so that was really bad compared to what I can do now. So I wasn't really expecting much coming into this. I don't know, I guess I would have been hoping top 32 or something maybe, but to get this far is pretty cool. I mean, I wish I'd gone further, obviously, with how good I think I've gotten, but I will have done. As for a future, I honestly have no idea. I feel like I kind of want to learn all cells, but it just seems like too much work. I don't know. Uni's quite stressful, so I don't think I'm going to have enough time to warrant learning that and optimizing it as much. So maybe just time and all skills, get the perma bob bop, and maybe finish there. We'll see.
All right.
Let's bring it back to some of the events of the match for both of you guys, because Trojan, of course, you didn't watch your opponent, as you never do. There's one occasion in the match where you did forcibly have to find out about the the status of the race, and that was that Cheese had a crash. And major shout outs, by the way, to the rest of the planning team for making a really quick decision to go with the reset there. But I'm going to start with Cheese, and I'll come to you, Trojan, as well on the same question. For you, Cheese, your mindset in the race at the time that happened, how was your mindset affected? And then also when we went with the resetting back to the teleporter, were you able to get back into like a good place, or were you still kind of jarred from that?
Actually, it's funny. I felt no extra nerves than I had in the first 16, 17 minutes of the run. I think during that break when we were figuring everything out, I trying to get my old tennis mindset where you go between sets and you play different opponents, and it's just like, okay, I just need to hard reset my mind, say that set is done. I need to go on this next win 6-game set and just try and win that. So that helped quite a bit. I actually wasn't very nervous at all.
All right. Well, I actually threw that question to Cheese, but now I'll throw it to Cheese.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry about it. I just assumed that you're kind of like up in the clouds at the moment, which is valid. But yeah, Cheese, obviously, same question.
Well, before it happened, I noticed my game basically never lags. I can never really tell. But I'd noticed, I even put it in SRL chat, that I was lagging. I could see frame drops. I think it was the second time I noticed it, where I was like, oh, this seems odd. This is the only time I'd ever seen that happen before was when regular crashes happened. I've fixed it since, but praying that it wouldn't happen, and then it did. And then the game wouldn't load back up. It was I double clicked on it, and then it took forever, so I had to exit out of it again and then reload it again. And I crashed, but I hadn't heard anything in SRL, so I was freaking out. And then I just completely failed swamp entry 20 times before I realized that I was gonna get to start back again. I mean, it was pretty hard, fully, but I think with the time we got, I was back to basically where I could have been. So I mean, I think it was handled as well as it possibly could have been by everyone back in the truck. So shout out to you guys, but I mean, it is what it is, and can't do anything about it really.
Yeah, of course. Ideally, we would all races would be the internet would never go out, no one would crash, no weird shenanigans would happen. But of course, as we've seen, literally back on the first day of the Ori tournament, where a runner couldn't even save their game at all. Technically she's a curse. So definitely glad at least that it affected you the minimal amount possible. Obviously, hard to get around some effect, but in any case, Lurking, any questions, kind of remaining for our two runners here?
Not exactly, no. Just want to say GG, congratulations, Trojan. Good luck in the semifinals, and I think that's all I have to say.
Whoa, hold on. The quarters, man. I gotta win quarters first.
Oh, yeah, that's the semi.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Wow, that's that commentator's attempted fortune.
I'm giving you the confidence. Monkley is free. No.
Oh, snap. I would say something about Trojandude's the one that should do the trash talk, but we all know Trojan doesn't trash talk.
Yeah, so we'll do it on his behalf.
Okay. I'll just try and avenge Richard's demise in the tournament. That's all I'll say.
Please do. Okay.
And of course, for CheeseLover, we'll throw yet again another GG, not just for your performance in this race, this match, not just for your performance in the tournament, but in general, the improvement that you've shown as an Ori runner over the course of the last couple months has been truly impressive. And I hope that even with your current level of being busy with uni, that you're still able to pull off that 29, because you're definitely capable of it.
Thank you. It's been a really fun tournament. I just want to say shout outs to every single person that's worked on this or participated. It's been a great time, and I couldn't ask for any better. So.
Thank you, dude. Likewise. And well, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Lurking, we got a little bit of a late start. We had a few delays here and there, but overall, this has been a great match. I was really excited to get to commentate this with you. So thank you.
It was amazing. So,
what do we have next? We have to look it up. Crap.
I already looked it up. I was waiting for this. We have the rematch of the century. The Wilson versus Oshi coming up tomorrow.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that is the lower gosh, I always say that lower bracket final from the Phil division. That is going to be something.
Yeah, and if you aren't familiar, they have played earlier in the brackets, and Oshi pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the tournament, and they are getting rematch right now. So this will be very exciting, as especially Wilson is out for blood, as he said.
Oh yeah. And that'll be tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Channel still to be assigned, possibly. Yeah, but we will find out as soon as possible, and you'll be able to find us. It'll be on the Speed Gaming network of channels, as always. So make sure to look us up tomorrow and tune in. It ought to be a good time.
Yeah. But I guess for now, this will be it for us. So we're going to close out. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you for watching.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. And wow, Yoko. Oh,
No,
my
oh no,
goodness.
Yoko. Oh my goodness. Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any like really bad deaths as result, but
Oh no.
no! Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're going to see what D2 decides to do. Nice safety save there. And wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
Like, it's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus.
Holy
so close.
crap,
Oh.
Rufus.
Oh.
Oh god.
Fix it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh,
Monkley's shot going through.
Oh, Cheese missed the double bash though. He's gotta go back up. Monkley's shots are phasing the floor. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Cheese has broken his swamp.
Oh, Monkley getting hit by the shot.
Metal that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Terra. Oh my gosh. Okay, try again. This time you can get to the platform.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow!
Damn.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that fifth.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh,
Fluffy, what
I
are
didn't know you could do that.
Oh,
You really just keep
goodness.
moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh god, Hori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no. Oh, Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so
no.
painful.
Oh, this is a party. Luckily, he does have a series.
Yeah, oh, mini boss not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is
He's
the
gone pro!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well.
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stopped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs one. He's got one left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got one chance left.
One more.
And he gets it. The
First
clutch.
try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.